Hello, everybody. Welcome to Deep Voice Dude. Today, I'm going to give you a 2021 NBA mock draft. Now, I'm recording this on the night of August 17th, 2020, and with the whole COVID situation potentially delaying next season, we might be a full year away from the draft, or at the minimum, we're 10 months away from the draft. That's if it happens in a normal time frame. So a lot of these picks are going to be wrong. Just think of this as a way to know which players in college and overseas to watch out for this upcoming basketball season. As for the order, I kind of just listed the teams who I don't think are going to make the playoffs and then kind of randomized it a bit. Like, for example, I have the Orlando Magic as the first pick, and I don't think they're going to be the worst team in the league. I just randomly picked them because I pulled it out of my ass, really, if I'm being honest. So, pretty random order. Most of these guys are going to be incoming freshmen or guys who are like 17 years old overseas. A few guys who played in college last year. But just some guys to watch their highlight tape, watch out for them in college basketball, if there is college basketball. So without further ado, let's get started. With the first pick, the Orlando Magic select Cade Cunningham, point guard from Oklahoma State. Oh yeah, this guy is incredibly hyped. He played at Monteverde Academy down in Florida. He's from the Dallas area, though. Going to Oklahoma State just for a year. They say he's like a Ben Simmons, Luka Doncic type, 6'7" point guard. This guy plays defense a bit better than Luka. He's not quite the offensive player, but I think I would compare him to kind of a Luka Ben Simmons combo. Take the best elements of both. I mean, I think he's better than both those guys personally. I'd rather have him than Luka. But yeah. Second pick, Sacramento Kings select Jalen Green, shooting guard, who's going to be playing at the NBA G League select team. I'm just going to call it the G League team from now on because that's a mouthful. Yeah, Sacramento taking this guy. I think him and Cunningham are kind of like the consensus two best players in the class right now, with a third guy who I'll talk about in a second also up there. Jalen, he's just incredible scorer from Fresno area, just extraordinary scorer, can score from three levels in the paint, mid range, and from three. I don't really know about his defense. I'm sure it's not great, but it's probably passable. Playmaking, still, yeah, I'm sure it's okay. But yeah, he can just score the lights out. And the Kings could use that. I imagine Buddy Hield will be gone soon, so they could slide him into his position. Or frankly, he could probably play small forward if somehow Buddy stays. Yeah, with the third pick, San Antonio Spurs select Jonathan Kuminga, small forward on the G League team. So this is a guy, he's from the Congo. He moved to New Jersey, though, and he's just incredibly athletic. Some people say he's the most athletic high school player since LeBron. Like, he's obviously not a skill, but he's an athletic freak among freaks. This guy reclassified. He's supposed to be a high school senior this upcoming year, but he's reclassified a bit. So he graduated last year. He's going to play in the G League team with Jalen Green and a bunch of other highly touted prospects. Just small forward, 6'7", 6'8", so could probably play power forward. Just incredible athlete, not very refined yet, but his potential is through the roof. Number 4, the Detroit Pistons select B.J. Boston, small forward, University of Kentucky. So this guy is kind of like Jalen Green in that he's mainly known for his scoring, but he's not quite at that level yet. He's 6'7", I think, but he's incredibly skinny, so he's gonna have difficulty guarding small forwards. I feel bad shitting on these prospects this far away from the draft, but whatever. Pistons kind of need to draft someone who has star potential, and BJ Boston has that potential. Not as much as Green or Kuminga, but they're already gone. So BJ's like the top star potential player left at this stage in the draft for them. So yeah, just draft a wing. They could use a wing. I have them taking LaMelo in the 2020 NBA draft, so that to build that core around LaMelo and BJ Boston and Sekou and Wood, and yeah, it's a pretty solid young core there. Number 5, Cleveland Cavaliers select Evan Mobley, center from USC. They have Onyeka Okongwu this year. They're gonna have Mobley next year. They have a pretty nice run on centers here. Mobley's he's being compared to LaMarcus Aldridge. He's more of a stretch guy than Okongwu. Mobley's 6'11", 7 foot, so he's certainly tall, but he can shoot pretty well. Also, he's not really thick for in the paint kind of play, but he's definitely a stretch five. Just really, really highly touted center. Could be the future of the U.S. national team center, because the U.S. national team isn't really great at center right now. As for why Cleveland would take him, Andre Drummond's old, and hopefully he's actually not that old. He's just his style of play just isn't really what the NBA is all about anymore. So he'll be gone soon. All their young core right now: Kevin Porter Jr., Darius Garland, Colin Sexton. They're all guards. I have them taking Obi Toppin in the 2020 draft, and he's he's a power forward, so they could use a center to go along with him there. Number 6, New York Knicks select Zaire Williams, small forward at Stanford. Yeah, he's going to Stanford. I'm in my notes. I put Duke, but I messed up there. So yeah, Zaire Williams going to Stanford. This is going to be a pretty wing and bigger guy heavy draft compared to the 2020 draft as his point guard dominant. Zaire, he played at Sierra Canyon with Bronny James. That's why he's a pretty popular player. 6'7", skinny, like every other high school small forward, highly touted small forward. The difference is I think he has a bit higher potential than the guy I'm going to mention next is Jalen Johnson. I just think Zaire's a bit more athletic, and Johnson's kind of more developed already. He's a more safer pick. So I guess let's just get on with it. Charlotte Hornets like Jalen Johnson, small forward going to Duke. Like I said, I don't think his ceiling's as high as Zaire Williams, but Jalen's his floor is a bit higher. And the Hornets, they have two guards, Graham and Rozier. PJ Washington's pretty solid. They could use a center, though. I have them taking Okongwu in the 2020 draft, so I guess there's their center. So in that case, they would just need another wing to pair with PJ Washington, and Jalen Johnson is a good choice. Just a solid player. Should at the very least be a contributor, be a high-end role player. Number 8, the Golden State Warriors via the Timberwolves D'Angelo Russell trade select Usman Garuba, center/power forward from Real Madrid. This is just a guy. He's been playing in Real. He's kind of like Luka. He's been playing at Real since he's like 14 or 15. He's not a ball handler, so he's not quite as highly touted as Luka, but he's pretty damn good for them. He's only 17 and he's playing on their senior team and all that. He's a Spanish national, Nigerian descent, but he'll play for Spain's national team, assuming he's that good, which I think he will be. Warriors, they're kind of built on the smaller game, and Garuba's only 6'8", so he could be a small ball center, which for them I'm sure is what they want. I have him taking Denny Avdija in the 2020 draft, so they could use a center or power forward, whatever he's going to be. Number 9, the Atlanta Hawks select, I'm sorry for the pronunciation, Rako Prikasin, power forward at Sabonia, which is in Croatia. And I'm almost certain Rako is Croatian himself. This guy, I think he's just going to be a really solid kind of jack of all trades, kind of like a Denny Avdija type guy. He's just smart defender, which Atlanta can need because their point guard sucks at defense. I think he'll just be a high-end role player, which is kind of what Atlanta needs, because I think Trae Young and potentially Cam Reddish could be their stars. And then you have Capella, Prikasin, and DeAndre Hunter being the role players type thing. So he's high-end. It could be a high-end role player, does a little shooting, a little passing, a little defense, just does everything pretty good. Number 10, the New Orleans Pelicans select Terrence Clark, shooting guard from Kentucky. So this guy, along with BJ Boston, are going to be at Kentucky next year, forming a dynamic duo. Boston probably has a little bit more potential. Clark, I think he's like only an inch shorter. He's 6'6", and he might even weigh more than BJ. But or not Phoenix, New Orleans. They're going to need a shooting guard because JJ Redick's going to be gone soon. I guess Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but you might as well just get another one. I have them taking Saddiq Bey in the 2020 NBA draft. So if Lonzo Ball stinks it up next year, they might look to draft a point guard. But I think Terrence Clark is just better than any of the point guards at this spot. So they take him for a scoring, pair him with Zion and Ingram, form a little dynamic duo, and you'll need a ball handler, but maybe you can get one in free agency to play with Zion. Number 11, the Chicago Bulls select Greg Brown, power forward at the University of Texas. This guy's somewhat like an Aaron Gordon, just a really athletic guy, dunker. I don't really know much about this guy, like shooting or defense and passing and all that. I just know he's incredibly athletic. I think Chicago could use someone like that because right now their power forward, Lauri Markkanen, didn't have a great year last year. But even if he does have a great year, I mean he's more of like a Danilo Gallinari, like a poor man's Dirk, in that he's more of a shooter, not really an athlete. He's obviously more athletic than me, but compared to the NBA, he's just not really a super athlete. Greg Brown, more of an athletic guy. I guess he could play small forward if you're doing like a taller lineup because he's only 6'9", while Lauri's 7 foot. But yeah, I think just get some more depth in your front court because I have him taking Devin Vassell in the 2020 class, and he's more of a small forward. Another option here could be point guard because I think Kobe White is probably more situated for a sixth man role with getting Zach LaVine as the starting two guard and Kobe. Sorry about that. I had to go get some water. So the Bulls take Greg Brown at 11. Number 12, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Jalen Suggs, point guard from Gonzaga. This guy plays on that, what's it called, Minnetonka Academy up in Minneapolis with Chet Holmgren. So he had that famous game against Sierra Canyon where the Minnesota team beat them. Suggs is just a really good athlete. He's a great quarterback also, but he's going to play basketball at Gonzaga. I have him as my second point guard in this class, first or behind Cade Cunningham and ahead of Caleb Love. I guess the Thunder, Chris Paul's going to be gone soon, so they'll have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but they'll need another guard for their backcourt. I have them taking. I think I have him taking Aleksej Pokusevski, so that's a front court player. So get a backcourt player. Jalen Suggs, point guard, go along with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Boom, let's go. 13, Memphis Grizzlies select Wendell Moore, the second small forward from Duke. This is the first guy on this list who isn't 17 or 18. This guy played college basketball last year at Duke. He really didn't put up great stats, but he's a pretty good defender. Memphis could use someone like that because they have Ja at the point, Dylan Brooks at the 2 spot, Triple J at the 4, and Valanciunas at the 5. They're kind of missing that small forward spot. Someone like Wendell Moore, I think he could be a high-end role player for the Grizzlies here. Good defense, maybe could hit some shots. Good slasher cutter. So yeah, I think also the Grizzlies, they have Ja and Triple J, so they kind of have two, I don't know if star is the right word, but two high-end players. So they just need to get some solid role players around them. I think Wendell Moore, a high floor guy. Number 14, the Utah Jazz select Scotty Barnes, power forward at the University of Florida. The Jazz, they're a solid team all around. I don't know if Gobert is going to be there in 2 years. I think his next year's he'll have a contract extension coming up, and they'll have to re-sign him, and I kind of doubt they will. But even if they do, I think Barnes would be a good player here. He's a 6'8" power forward, kind of like an athlete in the vein of Greg Brown, though not quite as good. So yeah, I think getting an upgrade at the power forward spot. I know Bogdanovich is there, but he's already either 30 or close to 30, so he's kind of getting their age. Number 15, the Washington Wizards select Terrence Shannon Jr. He's a small forward at Texas Tech. So Wizards right now they're pretty much two guards with Beal and Wall. Who knows if they'll both be there in 2 years? I guess I'm presuming they will be. I have them taking James Wiseman in 2020, moving up in the lottery, so the center spot will be set. So their weakness will be at the small forward because Rui can play the 5, so their weakness will be at small forward. So Terrence Shannon Jr., He'll be a sophomore next year, so he'll have 2 years in the league, 2 years at college, so he should be able to contribute at the NBA a little bit quicker than other guys would. Number 16, Phoenix Suns select Isaiah Todd, power forward on the NBA G League team. Todd, he is seen as a floor spacing four. He's 6'10", really lanky, but the Suns could use someone like that because they already have Ayton to man the paint. I have them taking Killian Hayes in 2020, so the point guard spot should be set. So they could have Mikal Bridges will be the 3, strong defense. Todd will be the 4, spread the court out a bit. Ayton manning the paint. It's a pretty solid lineup there, I think. 17, the Miami Heat select Scottie Lewis, shooting guard from University of Florida. This is just an uber athletic guy. I always thought the Heat, they're a very solid team, but they don't really have a great athlete like Jimmy Butler. I mean, when I say athlete, they don't really have someone who can jump out of the gym. They just have a lot of really solid players. Scottie Lewis kind of has that super or star potential. Getting him this late in the draft would be a pretty good steal for the Heat, taking a boom or bust guy right here. Number 18, the Houston Rockets select, sorry for the pronunciation, Ibu Dianko Badji, center on FC Barcelona B by way of Senegal. Now, this guy's huge. He's 7'1". I'm sure his wingspan is like 7'7", 7'8". Also, I know you're probably thinking the Rockets go small ball, but I'm thinking if they don't make the finals this year and next year, that D'Antoni will be gone, Morey will be gone. Probably the new coach. I'm sure the new coach will say, let's just try to go traditionally. I bet Tillman Fertitta will say, let's try to have someone over 6'5" on our team for once. So they take the big tall center, try to go more as a traditional basketball team after small ball doesn't work. This guy, he's really raw, but he obviously has massive defensive upside and could be like a poor man's Rudy Gobert one day. Number 19, the Philadelphia 76ers select Josh Christopher, shooting guard at Arizona State. I don't really know a lot about this guy. I just know he's highly touted. I'm sure he's good at scoring and all that. 20, the last pick I'm going to do is the Portland Trailblazers select Jeremiah Robinson Earl, power forward at Villanova. This guy played last year. He'll have 2 years under his belt with Jay Wright. And a lot of Villanova players are just really solid NBA players like Mikal Bridges, Dante DiVincenzo. I'm sure Sadiq Bey next year will be one of those guys. Villanova, they always when they turn 23, 24, maybe 3 years into their career, they always just step it up a bit and be great role players. Portland could use someone like that as Damian ages and CJ gets a little bit older, assuming they're both there. So yeah, that's going to wrap it up. I just did the first 20 picks. Let me know what you guys think about the draft. How'd your guys' team fare? Did you like who I suggested? Do you think I should have suggested someone else? Please like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.